everyone. Welcome to Championship Wrestling. This is Vince McMahon here at ringside, standing next to wrestling's living legend, Bruno Sammartino. We shall have with us this week the likes of the relative newcomer, Sergeant Slaughter.
Well, we had heard things about him, but after watching him a couple of years ago, he's everything they said about him. Just a vicious, tough, big, mean sergeant.
Also scheduled to join us, a special ladies tag team match. We'll also have on the card the Hangman.
Well, the Hangman, I think, has proven himself time and again that he is someone to contend with. He is some kind of tough.
Also scheduled to join us, Tony Garea.
Hey, it's great to see Tony back. Tony Garea was one of the finest wrestlers around here. People loved him, and they've got to be thrilled the fact that he's come back.
And also scheduled to join us, the Intercontinental Champion in the non-title event, Ken Patera.
Well, as we've said before, you can hate the man, but Patera's a phenomenal athlete, and he's a tough man to beat.
And then, ladies and gentlemen, we shall have with us an individual who claims to be, rightfully so, a world champion, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Harley Race. To take a moment of your time, there have been many rival championship factions, rival factions in all sports. There was the American Football League, indeed rivaling the NFL, the American Football Conference as it is now. There was, of course, in hockey, the World Hockey League, ill-fated. There was basketball with the ABA. And, of course, in wrestling, there are two divisions. Bob Backlund, the World Wrestling Federation champion, and the individual that we will see Harley race, Bruno.
We have him in boxing and all these sports, as you say, and of course we have it in wrestling too. And it would be great if it could ever be worked out that these two individuals could meet and have only one champion. I'd love to see that happen.
No doubt of that, but you can be a judge for yourself as to the skills of Harley Race. We will have Mr. Race here with us when we return in just a few moments. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Championship Wrestling, promoted by Phil Zatko, supervised by the State Athletic Commission. On the officials assigned, Chief Deputy Commissioners in charge, Tom Melandro, Tony Stanza, the doctor in attendance at ringside, Dr. George Saharian, the timekeeper at the bell, Mike Nittman, and the referees for this hour of wrestling, Gilberto Roman, Dick Kroll, Dick Worley, and my name is Jim McHugh. The opening contest, it is set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. But first, I want to introduce the colorful manager. It is the Grand Wizard of Wrestling. And in the corner to my right, from Paris Island, South Carolina, weighing 305 pounds, it is Sergeant Slaughter. And his opponent from Manorville, Long Island, weighing in at 290 pounds, it is Mark Pohl.
Mark Pohl, 290-pounder against the 305-pound Sergeant Slaughter, who is something else. Again, we've seen him once before, and Slaughter making light of the rather rotund appearance there a moment ago, making gestures. Having a few words for Mark Pohl, fires off a forearm shot. Look at that. Oh, yeah. There's a little difference there. We're set for action. What a difference in the impact of Mark Pohl's punches and those of Sergeant Slaughter. And they both weigh approximately the same.
Well, they may weigh the same, but I think it's a little different as to how their weight is distributed. This Sergeant Slaughter is a very tall guy, weighs over 300 pounds, but, you know, he's he's not very, very muscular, but he's not a fat fella by any means. He's solid. He's very, very solid. He's big boned. He's got a big frame on him, and he's pretty evenly proportioned. You can see he's in very, very good shape and very strong, whereas on the other hand, Mark Polo is much, much shorter, much heavier in the midsection. By no means is he same physical proportions as Sargent. But he must have a pretty hard stomach, even though Mark Polo does not know how to deliver a good punch. Still, he did hit him with some authority, and it was just like, it absolutely had no effect at all on Sergeant Slaughter.
Mark Polo trying to fire off a shoulder block. Now trying to get out of the way of Sergeant Slaughter, who, look at that, power slams his man. Wow. Good way to break a rib. He could have easily had to counter 3. Didn't want it. Again, tremendous strength displayed by Sergeant Slaughter. He throws that near 300-pound Mark Polo around like a dish rag.
Absolutely, absolutely. And here he comes with that hold of his, which to me is a sleeper, but he calls it a camel something.
A cobra clutch.
Yeah, cobra clutch. But really, it's a sleeper hold because he's applying pressure on both sides of the neck, on the jugular vein side, and that, of course, stops the blood from going to the brains, and you pass out.
Referee asking for a break here. Sergeant Slaughter continues holding that, and that is a very dangerous thing to do. You're cutting off the blood to the brain, a very dangerous thing to do, to keep a man out like that. Finally, the referee comes over and could very well have saved Mark Polo.
It is a time, 2 minutes and 56 seconds, and the winner, Sergeant Slaughter.
In less than 3 minutes, Sergeant Slaughter just destroys Mark Polo, who is still, at this moment, asleep. Again, Bruno, let's talk of you. You mentioned the first time you saw Sergeant Slaughter apply that hold, it was very, very dangerous. Go into some depth if you would.
Well, when you stop the circulation of blood from going to the brains, that can only happen for a period of time, a very short period of time, because if it happens too long and the blood doesn't go to the brain, air gets into the brain, and it can actually cause death or brain damage. Simple as that. So now that he's released him, he's still unconscious, but the blood to a certain degree has resumed circulation, and so he's passed out. But I think he should be all right. But you hang on to it too long, and like I say, blood doesn't get to the brain long enough, air gets in, and then
there's going to be brain damage then.
Absolutely, and there have been cases, believe me, where this has happened. In fact, there was a time when they barred this particular hold because of the severe damage done to individuals.
Well, Slaughter certainly taking his time in awakening his opponent. Sergeant Slaughter on the victory. Another salute to the Grand Wizard. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more of Sergeant Slaughter in weeks to come here on Championship Wrestling. We shall return as we continue with the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Harley Race.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next contest is scheduled for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my right from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 235 pounds, it is Rick McGraw. And in the corner to my left from Kansas City, weighing 250 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the NWA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Harley Race. This is a non-title bout.
Harley Race set to take on Quick Draw. Let me try it again. Quick Draw Rick McGraw. And it should be quite a test for Harley Race. We're set for the action to begin. Harley Race, as we mentioned at the outset, you know, the various factions in pro sports, be it hockey, boxing, whatever, in wrestling. Harley Race representing the National Wrestling Alliance. Tremendous competitor. You have to give credit where credit is due. But as you see it, how does Harley Race and the comparison, I mean, there's an obvious comparison here. How do you see Harley Race as compared to Bob Backlund? Representing,
Well,
of course, the World Wrestling Federation. We're talking about two different champions.
Okay, we're looking at two guys here. Okay, let's talk about the pluses of Backlund first. Backlund, I would say, has more speed. He's quicker than Harley Race. Stamina-wise, I give the edge to Backlund as well, because Backlund's in tremendous shape. He is always, you know, he's a hard trainer. I'm not saying that Harley Race isn't, but I know Backlund, I know he trains. He's in tremendous shape at all times. So he's got the, as I say, speed. He's got more stamina than this man. Wrestling skill-wise, I would say that they both are about the same, except that Harley Race has been around longer, so he may be able to catch certain advantages because of his ring experience in there. He is heavier than Backlund. He weighs about 250 to Backlund 232 or whatever. Another advantage, of course, a disadvantage for Backlund, of course, is that Harley Race, not only is he a fine wrestler, but he's a tremendous rule breaker. He knows how to do it and get away with it. He knows how to take advantage of a situation and really do you in. So I would say that as much as I have to pick Backlund overall, but I would say that if Backlund met the Harley Race, he could not afford to make any mistakes, because Harley Race is a master in turning an opponent's mistake into a victory for Harley Race.
Clever maneuver by Rick McGraw. Can't get his man. McGraw firing back again. Harley Race is stunned. Race shoves him to the rope. McGraw stepping over, back from the far side. Oh. Oh! Back down now. Race, I don't know what he was going to do with McGraw.
I don't understand that either. I don't know if he was going to come with a drop kick. He found himself short, so he tried to fly scissor. Uh-oh, here comes a tremendous suplex, and I'm afraid this might be it for McGraw.
Devastating suplex. That'll do it. Give credit to Rick McGraw. McGraw against the world champion and doing very well for himself. But Harley Race with that devastating suplex, he is something else.
Here is the time, 3 minutes and 50 seconds, and the winner, the NWA heavyweight champion of the world, Harley Race.
Well, you fans be the judge. Most of you have seen Bob Backlund, the World Wrestling Federation champion, in action. And now, well, we've seen Harley Race in action, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. You be the judge as to which you feel is the better. We return as we continue with more pro wrestling action.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next contest is set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. But first, I want to introduce that colorful manager. Here it is, the fashion plate of wrestling, Fred Bellotti. And here in the corner to my right, from Europe, weighing in at 290 pounds, here is the Hangman. And his opponent from Paris, France, weighing 245 pounds, it is Renee Goule.
Renee Goule against the Hangman, and here we go. forget about it. The Hangman will be defeated for the first time right now. No. Did he get him? Did he get him? Oh my goodness, Goule.
I'll tell you something, Vince. I've been wrestling a long time. I don't think I've ever seen anybody get whipped against the steel post the way Hangman was whipped against this post and hit it with such phenomenal force, and to come back and doing what he's doing right now to Goule. That is absolutely unbelievable.
And then Goule took an awful fall over the top rope on the outside, and he's got to be hurting as a result of that. Both of these guys taking unbelievable sums of punishment.
For the first minute or so of the match, unbelievable what they did to each other. It's amazing that neither one of them can go on, because as I said, first Hangman hit the steel post with such enormous force with his weight, unbelievable. And then, as you said, Goule going over, and he also hit the post as he went over that top rope. And here they are. Look, they're both going at each other. That is absolutely amazing.
Goule, several to the rope now. Goule, shoulder block, backs to Hangman, knocks him down. Going back now, Goule, caught and met. A cover by the Hangman. He gets two. He gets three. Wow. I have to think that that fall on the outside was a thing that really did in Renee Goule.
I think you're right, Vince. You're absolutely right.
He's injured. He just, and a gallant effort on the part of Goule to get back in and hang in there as well as he did.
Here is the time of the match. 2 minutes and 17 seconds on the winner, the Hangman.
The Hangman victorious over Renee Goule. They both took a lot of punishment, as I said before. Let's go back now, take a look at some slow motion action.
Here we go with Goule shooting a tackle at Hangman. Drops him to his knee, to both of his knees. Comes in for a second one, and this way he gets caught with a tremendous slam, but not on the ground, but rather on the knee. And look at that, right on the side there. And that absolutely took everything out of Goule and kept him.
To interrupt you for a moment, if we had it, we would go back and show you the fall that Goule took off that top rope. That's exactly the part of his body that struck the apron and then went on to strike the concrete floor. The Hangman, knowing full well of the injury, went back from there. And of course, the rest is history. The Hangman capitalizing then on Renee Goule and on the victory. Now scheduled next, we're going to take a look at lady wrestling at its finest in a tag team match. The fabulous Moolah Bruno will join us, the world's women's champion.
Fantastic. Can't wait till I see her.
And later on, of course, we'll have with us Tony Garea, Ken Patera waiting in the wings as well. Lots more action headed up your way. We shall return with the ladies tag team bout in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next contest, it is scheduled for one fall with a 10-minute time limit, presenting those fabulous female wrestlers. Introducing in the corner to my right from Macon, Georgia, weighing 145 pounds, it is Peggy Lee. And the partner from Tulsa, Oklahoma, weighing in at 135 pounds, it is Candy Malloy. And in the corner to my left, from Tampa, Florida, weighing 145 pounds, it is Beverly Shade. And the partner from Columbus, South Carolina, weighing 138 pounds, ladies and gentlemen, the female wrestling champion of the world, it is the fabulous Moolah.
The fabulous Moolah, an institution in pro wrestling. We're set for the action to begin. In control now, young lady by the name of Candy Malloy a moment ago in control. Her opponent, of course, Beverly Shade. Beverly to the canvas. And now the fabulous Moolah comes in. Boy, she is fabulous, Moolah is. I don't think any, Bruno, you correct me if I'm wrong, notwithstanding your tenure as World Wrestling Federation champion, perhaps the longest reign that I can recall of any male champion in pro wrestling, but aside from that, I think the fabulous Moolah has been champion longer than any champion I can recall, male or female, in pro wrestling.
Well, I'll tell you, to correct, I held the title for 12.5 years, and she was champion before I ever won the title, and she's still champion a few years after I dropped the title. So there's no question about it that she holds records of all records as far as time holding a championship.
And what do you attribute that to, Bruno?
Well, either two things. Either she's that much better than all the other female wrestlers, or there's a lack of talent in the women wrestling. In wrestling, it's just a lack of talent that she's been able to supreme over, because I don't see a lot of great new talent, at least that I haven't seen coming. So she's been able to maintain that title. On the other hand, with the men wrestling, we have so many phenomenal people that we see new faces come in all the time in professional wrestling. At the competition, I feel, is much, much tougher, much stiffer. And that's why, well, myself or the Morales or, well, we can go back all the way to the Rogers and the Koloffs and the stage. You know, you hold the title so long, but it's really difficult to hold it too long because there's just too much competition. On the other hand, like I say, with the women, either Moolah is just that great, or there's, in my opinion, there's been a lack of great new talent coming in.
And Beverly Shade with a chop across the chest area, and now it appears as though Moolah is going to work on Candy Malloy with a tag rope around her throat. Yet to get into the match, the young lady who's trying to, Peggy Lee, no relation to the singer. And Candy makes her escape and makes it good. So now we'll see what Peggy Lee can do against Beverly Shade. Uh-oh. Beverly literally trying to hide behind referee Dick Worley. In this day of equal rights for women, we've seen Little League become co-ed. We've seen lady boxing, but I think perhaps the forerunner of it all, Bruno, was wrestling. I think the ladies have been wrestling for a lot longer than they have been participating in other sports.
No question about that. They've been wrestling for, oh, I would say as far back as the early 1900s. And in other sports, as you say, just recently, I think I've seen a mixed bout and a kickboxing match between a girl and a guy. And so now, you know, they're fighting their way into football and everything else. But in wrestling, they've been there a long time.
Moolah in the ring the hard way. Moolah trying to back off and makes her escape good. Uh-oh, Candy Malloy has her. Boy, that Moolah can take over.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
wow.
Moolah shoved Candy Malloy into the first row ringside. First or second row.
That Candy landed on some guy's lap there, and he doesn't seem too angry, to be too angry. Kind of cute, this Candy Malloy.
Yes, she is. Moolah wants to shake hands. kick to the midsection, a knee lift, and the fabulous Moolah begins to strut and smile a bit. Now that has to smart. A yank literally of the hair. My goodness, it's a wonder all that hair doesn't come out. In control now, Beverly Shado, and the tag was just made. Here comes Candy Malloy again. What is going to happen here? Malloy breaks it up quite nicely and full of ride, Beverly Shade. Moolah nowhere to be found for the tag. Her partner wanted to tag off.
It's another reason why maybe Moolah holds that title for so long. Every time I see her, she's in a tag match.
Well, there is another reason I would think why Moolah has held the title for so long, and that is her tactics. Boy, she knows every dirty trick in and out of the book.
Yeah, boy, that's for sure. She really does. She's been around to learn them all, too, you know, in time to learn. The more you're around, the more you learn. And she's had the opportunity to learn an awful lot.
Now, we'll see here, forearm smash by the tag team partner of Candy Malloy, Peggy Lee, but Peggy Lee's in the wrong part of town, and now the double team effort begins. Moolah yanks her to the side. Aha. Peggy Lee with the body scissor. Uh-oh. What is this now? Here we go. 2 hot seats. And away we go again. Referee Dick Worley trying to maintain some order. Uh-oh, look out for Dick Worley. Covered by fabulous Moolah. They have him down. Moolah and her opposition going to work on Dick Worley. Oh, no. Well, now that is a rather humiliating tactic. Moolah swears that the other girl did it. I think Moolah may be raking something. Dick Worley's not about to go in there and check that out. I think it's safe.
Yeah, I think so. Boy, this poor girl, Peggy Lee, she's been taking an awful lot of abuse in there.
A fabulous Moolah in total control. Not having fun any longer. From behind, Beverly Shade coming in now. All 4 lady wrestlers in there. So Dick Worley again trying to maintain some order. Oh, Mula missing the attempted cover, and Peggy Lee likewise missing. Drop kick, and Mula nails her. Oh, missed drop kick. Mula spins around, gets one, gets two, gets three. So the fabulous Mula chalks up one more victory for herself and her tag team partner, Beverly Shade. Mula and Shade victorious over Peggy Lee and Candy Malloy.
Here is the time, 9 minutes and 49 seconds, and the winners, Beverly Shade and the fabulous Mula.
Fabulous Mula, the world's women's champion. We shall return as we continue with Ken Patera, and also scheduled next, as a matter of fact, will be Tony Garea. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next bout is set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my left from New York City, weighing 235 pounds, here is Jose Estrada. And his opponent is just coming down the aisle after a long absence from this arena. From Auckland, New Zealand, weighing 240 pounds, here is the popular Tony Garea.
Tony Garea against Jose Estrada. Here we go. Nice takedown a moment ago by Tony Garea. Great to see him back in the squared circle, Bruno. Tony, that is.
Certainly is, because here's truly a great athlete. Tony Garea is well, you know, he's just a great wrestler. He's been around all over the world. He's made quite a reputation for himself. And of course, right here, beautiful drop toe hold, by the way. Over here in the Worldwide Wrestling Federation area, of course, people have seen him through the years. He held the co-holder of the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Tag Team title.
With Larry Zbyszko.
Yeah, with Zbyszko. And of course, even individual competition. People have always liked him because he is a tremendous competitor, always in tip-top shape, always gives you a 100+% in that ring. He's a fine, fine gentleman. He's a great scientific wrestler in that ring. And he's just liked by all because of his kindness, his great personality. The guy is just a terrific guy.
Nice maneuver by Garea. It was unfortunate what we saw last week with Tony Garea relative to Larry Zbyszko. Garea just for a moment turned his back, as we will recount that moment, turned his back on Larry Zbyszko, who had just finished wrestling. And of course, Zbyszko proceeded to rip his shirt, his tie, everything else off him, and really pretty much upset Tony Garea.
Well, Garea had been told from different parts of the world he'd been in about what had happened with Zbyszko, but you see, he couldn't believe it. He didn't believe it. When he came back around here, he didn't believe it. He had to see it with his own eyes, and I can understand. Somebody might say, well, why in the world wouldn't he believe it? This certainly came from enough sources. But Garea was tag team partners with the guy. They were close friends, and it just absolutely couldn't believe it. And even when he saw what he saw, he couldn't believe his attitude and actions in that ring. And when he went over there in disbelief, trying to talk to Zbyszko, Zbyszko attacked him like a maniac, tore his shirt, booted him out of that ring, and hurt Garea. Of course, Garea today, not only does he believe what's happened to Zbyszko, but he is shocked and he's rather bitter. He's very bitter about it. But believe me, Vince, no more bitter than I am. Not nearly as bitter as I am about this guy.
Garea now exploding. Nice forearm smash. Another one. Whoa, baby. Garea scoops up Estrada, slams him to the canvas with authority. A snap bear, and Garea drives the knee to the chest. Gets a cover, one. That's all he can get on Jose Estrada. Garea maintaining his control. Estrada trying to figure out how he could counter the skills of Garea.
It's going to be a very difficult thing to do because Tony Garea, when it comes to skills, he's as good as any. He's a guy with tremendous versatility. Speed-wise, we know he's got plenty of that. Great shape all the time, and he's a very fiery guy. You're going to get rough with Tony Garea, he'll come right back at you, as he's doing right now. He will take not too much nonsense from anybody. Always keeps himself in tip-top condition, and that, of course, is the secret of his success.
How would you compare Tony Garea now, Bruno, to when we last saw him in the World Wrestling Federation?
Well, for one thing, I haven't really talked to him that much, but I think it's a little bit heavier, but a good heavier. He's thicker muscled. He looks to me in real great shape. His speed seems to be really well. He seems very, very polished, as he always, of course, was. His stamina looks as good as it ever was. All in all, I'd say that Tony Garea is still as good a wrestler as he was, and perhaps even a little bit better. And right now, he's showing some fantastic moves against Estrada.
Estrada keeps running into those drop kicks. Garea now with him. Whips him to the far side, waiting for him. Abdominal stretch. Hooks him and just may have him. That's it. Tony Garea victorious with a submission hold. All righty, Garea, and listen to the applause for Tony Garea. After the announcement, we hope Mr. Garea will grace us with an interview with Bruno Sammartino.
It is the time of the fall. 5 minutes and 13 seconds, and the winner, Tony Garea.
Tony Garea victorious. Let's take a look at slow motion action. All right, here we go. Nice feel. Garea just lets him have it. I think Estrada was, attention was diverted. From there, Estrada didn't know where he was. He was dazed. He just kept standing up. And Garea kept delivering the drop kicks and off the rope with authority, the abdominal stretch. And right now, let's go to Bruno Sammartino and Tony Garea.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome back Tony Garea. Tony, first of all, let me say it's great to see you back. I know all the fans have missed you, and they're all they're thrilled to see you back. We missed you around here, and I know this is going to be a bit of a sour note on you, but I'm going to have to say it anyway, because believe me, nobody is sour about this individual I'm going to mention to you as I am. But I know that you were back in New Zealand. I know you were in Australia for a while, and I guess you went to Europe too, if I'm not mistaken. And word, of course, got around all over the place about what had happened with Zbyszko. But you found it hard to believe. I know you didn't believe it because when you came back, you didn't believe it. What is your feeling today after everything that's happened?
Well, when I was here the other week, I finally seen what had happened. I finally believed what had happened. And Bruno, when I'm in that ring with anybody, they've got Zbyszko's face. And I'm wrestling Zbyszko in this ring, no matter who it is.
Tony, I hope that we have more time next time to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next contest, it is scheduled for 1 fall or 2 curfew. But first I'd like to introduce the manager, the colorful Grand Wizard of Wrestling. And in the corner to my right, from Pensacola, New Jersey, weighing 235 pounds, it is Kid Sharky. And in the corner to my left, from Portland, Oregon, weighing 265 pounds, ladies and gentlemen, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Ken Patera.
Ken Patera in the non-title event, set to take on Kid Sharky. Here we go. Ken Patera whipping his man over. Kid Sharky, no contest thus far. No competition for Ken Patera, at least not as we see it.
Well, Vince, I doubt it very much, as I'm sure you do too, that Sharky, nice young man, but we both know that he's not going to give Patera much competition. There's just no way that we can put him anywhere near Patera's class.
Ken Patera, undoubtedly an extraordinarily gifted athlete. Patera had all the potential to be indeed nothing short of a hero, Bruno, to the American public. Nothing short of it. A man, the first man to military press over 500 pounds, regarded as the greatest weightlifter in American weightlifting history. Justifiably, to a certain extent, known as the strongest human being. I mean, there's just so much on and on. Track star, football star. Everything he tried to do, he did well. He could have been a national hero.
You're absolutely right, and it's really sad, and I don't understand. Sometimes it's very confusing figuring out the mind of an individual. With all these assets that he has, all these great accomplishments that he has, that you talked about, how can anyone not want to use him to his advantage and be loved by the fans? I mean, to me, that's such a rewarding thing to be so gifted and to have the people with you. So, and I do not understand, because Patera's got everything, and yet he is the most obnoxious, roughest, vicious guy in that ring today, and I don't understand why he likes that. And he loves it. The more that people hate him, the better he likes it. And look at this. Now, you know this man's done. Sharky has submitted already, but look at him. He wants to punish him even more. Just a sadistic animal.
Ken Patera gets the Duke.
On the time, 2 minutes and 37 seconds, the winner, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Ken Patera.
Ken Patera victorious, no contest there with Kid Sharky. Earlier we saw Tony Garea on the victory. And of course the ladies tag team match. And Sergeant Slaughter, he is some impressive. And well, of course, we also saw Harley race, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, in individual competition.